Welcome to this video on how to control a robot. Robots are becoming increasingly popular in our daily lives, from manufacturing to healthcare, and even in our homes. But how do we control these machines? In this video, we will explore the different ways to control a robot and the tools you need to do so. First, let's talk about the types of robots. There are two main types of robots: autonomous and teleoperated. Autonomous robots are programmed to perform tasks on their own, without human intervention. Teleoperated robots, on the other hand, are controlled by a human operator. In this video, we will focus on teleoperated robots and the different ways to control them. First method of controlling a robot is manual control. This is the most basic form of control, where the operator uses a joystick or a gamepad to move the robot. This method is commonly used in remote-controlled toys and hobbyist robots. To control a robot manually, you need a controller that is compatible with the robot's hardware and software. The controller sends signals to the robot's motors, which move the robot in the desired direction. Manual control is useful for tasks that require precise movements, such as picking up objects or navigating through tight spaces. However, it can be challenging to control a robot manually, especially if the robot is complex or has multiple degrees of freedom. The second method of controlling a robot is autonomous control. As mentioned earlier, autonomous robots are programmed to perform tasks on their own without human intervention. This method is commonly used in industrial robots and self-driving cars. To control a robot autonomously, you need to program it with a set of instructions that tell it what to do. These instructions can be written in a programming language or created using a visual programming tool. Autonomous control is useful for tasks that are repetitive or dangerous for humans, such as welding or exploring hazardous environments. However, it can be challenging to program a robot to perform complex tasks, and the robot may not be able to adapt to unexpected situations. The third method of controlling a robot is voice control. With voice control, you can use your voice to command the robot to perform certain tasks. This method is becoming increasingly popular in home automation and personal assistant robots. To control a robot with your voice, you need a speech recognition system that can understand your commands. The system then translates your commands into actions that the robot can perform. Voice control is useful for tasks that require hands-free operation, such as turning on lights or playing music. However, the system may not always understand your commands correctly, and it may not be suitable for noisy environments. The fourth method of controlling a robot is gesture control. With gesture control, you can use hand gestures to command the robot to perform certain tasks. This method is commonly used in gaming and entertainment robots. To control a robot with gestures, you need a camera or sensor that can detect your hand movements. The system then translates your gestures into actions that the robot can perform. Gesture control is useful for tasks that require intuitive and natural interactions, such as playing games or controlling a drone. However, the system may not always detect your gestures correctly, and it may not be suitable for complex tasks. The fifth and final method of controlling a robot is brain control. With brain control, you can use your thoughts to command the robot to perform certain tasks. This method is still in the experimental stage, but it has the potential to revolutionize the way we interact with robots. To control a robot with your brain, you need a brain-computer interface that can read your brain signals. The system then translates your thoughts into actions that the robot can perform. Brain control is useful for tasks that require quick and precise actions, such as controlling a prosthetic limb or a wheelchair. However, the technology is still in its early stages, and it may not be suitable for everyday use. Now that we have explored the different methods of controlling a robot, let's talk about the tools you need to do so. The first tool you need is a controller. As mentioned earlier, a controller is a device that sends signals to the robot's motors, which move the robot in the desired direction. The type of controller you need depends on the method of control you are using. For manual control, you need a joystick or a gamepad. For voice control, you need a microphone. For gesture control, you need a camera or a sensor. And for brain control, you need a brain-computer interface. The second tool you need is software. The software is the brain of the robot, and it controls its movements and actions. The type of software you need depends on the type of robot you are using. For hobbyist robots, you can use open-source software such as Arduino or Raspberry Pi. For industrial robots, you need specialized software that is compatible with the robot's hardware and programming language. The third tool you need is sensors. Sensors are devices that detect changes in the environment and send signals to the robot's software. The type of sensors you need depends on the tasks the robot is performing. For example, if the robot is navigating through a maze, you need sensors that can detect obstacles and walls. If the robot is picking up objects, you need sensors that can detect the size and shape of the objects. The fourth tool you need is actuators. Actuators are devices that convert electrical signals into mechanical movements. The type of actuators you need depends on the type of robot you are using. For example, if the robot has wheels, you need motors that can move the wheels. If the robot has arms, you need motors that can move the arms. In conclusion, controlling a robot requires a combination of hardware and software tools. By understanding the different methods of control and the tools you need, you can choose the best approach for your robot and achieve the desired results.